So, quite a bit of information has been released about a game that I covered a month ago called Pioneer. All of this stuff kind of dropped around E3, and with all the Earth 2 and E3 news that was coming out, I actually forgot to make this video, so we're doing that today. If you guys missed the first video on Pioneer, it's an FPS MMO set in a post-apocalyptic world surrounded by monsters, anomalies, and other players. We got a bit more information about the player movement, weapon customization, and some of the special energy ammo that you're going to be able to craft in the game. If you guys like the content, leave a like on the video. Subscribe for more early access FPS news. We just hit 214,000 subscribers on the channel. We're growing like crazy, so I appreciate the support. So when the first trailer dropped for Pioneer and I threw it on the channel, a lot of you guys, as well as myself included, felt like it was very Stalker-esque. They're reimagining Stalker and taking it into an MMO setting. A lot of you guys were a little bit confused by that. But what I will say is this game is starting to kind of veer off a little bit from that tactical Stalker route, and they're going for a little bit more action-oriented combat. They've said in their recent video that the player movement is a mix between arcade and simulation controls. It basically rids the game of the clunky, slow-paced movement that other survival games do. And I can imagine they're looking at games like Escape from Tarkov and they're doing things a little bit different, but apparently it's going to be a little bit more fast-paced and it's still going to feel familiar to tactical FPS fans. They're also taking that same mindset approach to inventory management as well as item use in the game. They want it to be fast, intuitive, familiar, not so bogged down, and I'm guessing they're trying to avoid, again, that Tarkov inventory management simulator meme that everybody says about it. They want you to basically be able to mod weapons, manage your inventory, and get on with the game. They say that almost every weapon in the game can be modified in different ways. This specific shot shows barrels, foregrips, magazines, sights, pistol grips, as well as the stock. Apparently all of that can be modified on these weapons, and some weapons can also be crafted from local scrap as well as wreckage that you find around the world. And on top of the crafting and modification, they have these special weapon mods called artifacts, which are basically sources of energy within Pioneer that are erupted by anomalies, as well as something they're calling burial grounds. So I'm guessing these are like points of interest laid around the map that you're going to be able to go to, hunt monsters, loot, and use those sources of energy to create these artifact weapons. Apparently these energy rounds that you use in these guns are pretty much useless against the human enemies in the game, but they're great against the monsters on the island. We got a little bit more gameplay here. Now, the world itself in the game looks amazing, and this game is obviously early on in development. I don't know when it's coming out, but I am noticing some of the combat encounters in some of these videos a little bit strange, and I'm not sure if it's just because I can't feel the guns themselves, but I'm noticing the way they're aiming. Some of the bullets are straying kind of far off right, getting a headshot when it doesn't look like you were even aiming and hitting the guy. I gotta see how the game feels, if it's really leaning into that kind of more arcade style of shooting. I myself am okay with an arcade style combat system. I just hope that it feels grounded enough so that it doesn't feel like you're running and sprinting all over the place and just completely out of left field. Now, granted, this game does look like it's going completely out of left field. A bunch of monsters and anomalies here in this trailer they dropped as well. There's a lot of crazy shit going on in the world of Pioneer. Some of the clips they use where they're shooting off these artifact weapons and you can see the energy rounds. When these guys are ADSing and shooting, you can't see a goddamn thing. I really worry about the ADS, because even in this clip here where they're just shooting, it looks like a couple of random enemies spread around this village area. ADSing through a scope, it's really tough to see where you're shooting at. And again, obviously this is pre-alpha. I'm expecting this to get better over time. One thing we also do see is the traitor dialogue, as well as it looks like a little girl is like walking towards this guy, and there's dialogue choices, but it seems that we do have some actual story elements in place as well, which is really nice for a game like this. When the world is so like out to lunch, I do kind of want to know what the fuck is going on. We also get a look at the dismemberment in the game with this jumping headshot. The dude just blows the guy's lid clean off the neck, which I'm always a fan of. Pioneer is a game that I think could do really well if the developers support it in the West, support it with updates once it's released, and just take care of the product. An FPS MMO is really hard to come by in this day and age, and a small studio trying to make that happen, it's a really tall order, but I'm not ready to write this one off yet. It seems to be a high quality title based on every trailer we've seen, But until I can get my hands on it, I just won't know for sure if it's worth our time. Plenty of FPS games reach for the stars and get burned by the sun, and I always wish the best for every developer trying something new. These guys haven't asked for money, they haven't taken pre-orders, and until the day they do, I think all we can do is hope for the best. I'm actually taking the same approach with this game that I am with the day before. Everyone keeps calling it a scam, a fake game, and shit, it might be. But until they start taking people's money, I can't call it either one of those things. If you guys have any thoughts on Pioneer, the concepts, the trailers, anything at all, leave a comment down below. You guys can support the channel for only 99 cents a month. I'm trying to promote the memberships over taking a bunch of sponsored content deals that you guys don't really give a shit about anyway. Maybe one day this channel could be fully functioning and funded by my own community, which would be amazing. Hit the join button down below for more details. My name is Big Fry. Shout out to the 214,000 of you guys that are subscribed. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one.